So what did you think of Parental Glideance? I, I don't know what not to say about it. Go on. Share your opinion. Besides, it's not like people already put reviews of it out, even before it came out in the States. Fine. Here's Parental Glideance. It opens up with the CMC of all ponies, helping Scootaloo get to Cloudsdale by using the slingshot method. Basically, she's on her scooter while a rubber band-like object will propel her forward with enough speed to go up the ramp and into Cloudsdale. Scientifically, it should send her through the wall since the ramp is not connected to the ground, but technically raised a little above it. Anyways, it works, because, fantasy world. Scootaloo crashes into the clouds and lands on a rainbow-headed stallion's property. Come to find out, it's Rainbow Dash's family home. And she isn't arrested for trespassing. Scootaloo fangirls and breaks Rainbow's mom's, Wendy whistles, commemorative plates. But don't worry, Wendy and Bo Hothoof, yes, that is Rainbow's dad's name, are also super fans of their daughter. So they welcome Scootaloo into their home and show off her achievements, both big and small. So Scootaloo drops the ball that Rainbow is a Wonderbolt. Yes, she is a Wonderbolt, not a reserve. It gets explained later. So, of course, in the fashion of embarrassing parents, Scootaloo takes them onto the Wonderbolt base. Spitfire is mad, of course, because whoever parents they are didn't brief them on bringing civilians to a military base that should be closed off to the public 99.9% of the time or something like that. Rainbow Dash is, of course, embarrassed. And I'm still wondering why the parents haven't been arrested or escorted off the base. Until I realized the Wonderbolts aren't in the military. So, the Wonderbolts leave because they don't want to do their job and kick them off. So the rest of the episode is obvious for the most part. Bo and Wendy continue to be normal, supportive parents by cheering her on at a Wonderbolt event. But before that, Scootaloo reveals that she broke onto the Wonderbolt base before to recap us on Wonderbolt's Academy, and then reveal she was also there when Rarity was a detective for a moment. But then her parents compliment her on how well she is doing, like parents at some kind of sporting event. That's fine until they have fireworks. Okay, that should have been confiscated by security, even if this event is public. It's a cannon, but seeing as how party cannons exist, I guess it's a common thing to let past security guards. So at this point you're probably thinking, Dasher's parents are super cringy and can't possibly get worse. Well, you're wrong, sadly. You see, the trope of super cringy parents has been used in other things before, and it is usually to show that the character tried to escape from it or something like that. Funny thing, a similar type of parent was used in MLP before. Remember Top Bolt? Yeah, but instead those parents were super attentive and family-oriented. Here, Bo and Wendy constantly applaud Rainbow Dash even for the smallest tasks, which in one instance causes Rainbow Dash to almost severely maim Spitfire. I kinda wish it was a joke, but it wasn't. I'm amazed they haven't named Rainbow Dash Best Breather of Air yet or something like that. Rainbow Dash does the rational thing and explodes on them. And yeah, I'm actually saying it is rational because the parents did go a bit too far. It's nice to be supportive, but not for every day-to-day activities. Thus, Rainbow's parents cry, but also praise her for making them cry, because why not? Even Scootaloo temporarily leaves Rainbow Dash for how she treated her kind parents. But Dash gets Scootaloo back by sharing her traumatic backstory. She lost a race! But despite getting in dead last, her parents cheered for her. Dash was embarrassed, but she continued to get better and better after it. Thus, she realizes that their praise and admiration helped her make who she is, including that ego of hers. So Rainbow Dash makes up to her parents by putting on a private show with her Wonderbolt friends. They all make up, and Scootaloo gives their report and receives a B, as well as Rainbow Dash and her family being Scootaloo's fans and breaking into the public schoolhouse to cheer her on. So how is it? It's terrible! It follows the cliche of over-supportive parents being embarrassing. The way the parents were portrayed in the opening was normal. Them being fans of their daughter was okay. Letting in a stranger who seemed crazy probably wasn't the best idea, and them not knowing much about Rainbow's life was also normal as well and realistic. I feel this episode could have gone another route if the parents were less crazy. I'd give this a 3 out of 10. Yes, the same thing I've given for Flurry Heart, apparently. The moral was a weak one, since it should have been more focused on the parents also learning to be not as supportive, while also teaching people that their parents' support may be embarrassing in public, but it would still help you in some form subconsciously. But it's also bad due to the psychological effects of constant praise and admiration. What are those? Well, if you are told that you are the best at everything constantly, you'll believe it, and then when you fail, your emotions will be way worse and possibly lead you to depression. Participation trophies are a similar story, as it is basically saying that you are a winner despite losing. People need to know when they lost so they can better themselves. They need to understand that you lost. Someone else is better than you. Either get better or move on to something else. I'm not the biggest fan of Scootaloo or Rainbow Dash, but this episode isn't a strong one for either of them. We don't know much of Rainbow's parents' past, but they don't seem to be the racing type, meaning that's two headcanons of Inkros, that I know of, that are wrong. And yes, I do find a little joy in this. I'm Wolf, and I'll see you all later. Bye-bye!